Hey, John Ligadakis here. What I wanted to do today was share with you my top 8 resume mistakes. Now, these are going to be simple things maybe to you, but trust me, they're big ones. It's so important that you do everything in your power to make sure that your resume stays on top of the pile and doesn't get discarded. And look, many of them do. The reality is employees get bombarded with hundreds of applications, especially for the best jobs. And to make sure that yours doesn't get discarded on a technicality, on a little thing, make sure you don't do any of these no-nos that we're going to talk about today. Now, my top one, and actually these are in no specific order, but number one on today's list for resume mistakes is typos and grammatical errors. I almost made one right there. I'm going to type out grammar. Okay, so typos and grammatical errors. You think about it, if you're an employer that has to choose between some quality candidates and you see a resume that has simple spelling mistakes or grammatical errors, what are you going to do? Obviously, you're going to think less of that person, and everything else being equal, you're going to push that one to the side and you're going to focus on the other ones. Now, if you do struggle with spelling or grammar, that's fine. Have a family member or a friend go over your resume for you and proofread it to make sure there's no mistakes. Okay, number 2 is incorrect information. Now, this is where, obviously employers don't know your specific circumstances, so they take what you share with them. But if there's obvious incorrect information, for example, you've listed in chronological order your work experience and you've got some dates messed up, or you've put an incorrect job title, one that doesn't make any sense. You want to make sure that there's none of that. Again, that will hurt you. Number 3 is another 3 mistake that a lot of people make with their resumes is that their resumes are too generic. Again, employees that have seen lots and lots of resumes, they can tell which resumes have been created that you hand out to everyone that you apply a job for versus the ones that they've put in a bit of extra effort to show that they've created this resume specific for the position that they're applying for. And now, there's little things you can do, again, to make your resume that it's not generic. And there's little things you can do, for example, is putting the specific job title that you're applying for in the resume. That mention the business name and what you like about their business and what you can bring to them. Okay, number 4 is too elaborate. And what I mean by too elaborate is that the whole layout of your resume is just a bit too much. Too many fancy fonts, borders, things like that. So while it is important to pay attention to the format and to be a bit different from everyone else, don't go overboard. Again, you want to be professional and sophisticated in your resume. Okay, number 5. Fifth mistake, top 5 mistake that people make in their resumes is that their resumes are too wordy. All right. Too much information on their resume is bad. What I mean is cluttered. When it's cluttered, there's just so much on the page. So yes, you want to have all the relevant information, but be succinct, be specific. Don't go on and be too wordy in your resume. Okay. Number 6 mistake is omitting exact dates. So make sure that you do put the exact dates where relevant, because if you're leaving out dates like especially a few years or something like that, it will cause suspicion, obviously, of why you've left that period out. So so when you're putting dates in your resume, make sure that the dates, you put your month and your years, and there's nothing left out that should be there. Number 7 is not including skills and achievements. Again, this is another big one. A trap that many of us fall into is that when we're listing, out the previous jobs that we've had, occupations, we will list the duties that we had. All right. What a potential employer wants to see is the skills that you have and what you've been able to achieve versus the things that you've just done. I'll give you a good example of what I'm talking about. Let's say in a previous occupation, you're a receptionist and you had duties such as taking minutes of meetings, taking phone calls, making appointments, booking, travel, and so forth. Those are your duties. But let's say for your skills and your accomplishments, you're able to say that you were able to save the company time because you identified that a particular software that they were using was not very effective, and you recommend another one. Not only was it easier to use to save time, but it was actually cheaper as well, so you saved them money there too. These are examples of what employers are looking for. Okay, number 8 in our list is the objective statement. Okay, so you'll find a lot of resume templates, they've got there what is your objective, and our recommendation is just leave that out altogether. It's not about you, it's about what you can bring to the potential employer. So instead of having an objective statement in your profile, you can mention instead what it is, again, that you can bring to this particular position. How are you going to benefit the employer specifically? So these are our top 8 resume mistakes. If you follow this advice, trust me, your resume will go much, much further where that has ever gone before, and you'll have a lot more success in getting into your dream career.